We are live. Who is joining us at this moment? I can see someone joining us. I'm gonna ask Coachability to just as we are waiting. So tell us if you can, if you are here, you have been able to take the assignment, you've been able to look at what you are able to do. So please let us know. Just put on the chat if you are ready to get some ideas. Coachability, you can say hi.
Hey everyone, I am very excited to see all of you. Really do hope that you downloaded the document that I shared with you over lunchtime. I really pray that you did and that you're working on it. So I would be asking for feedback in this live session. So yeah, we're here. I want to hear your questions. I want to know, did you do something? Did you work on the document?
So yeah, we're here.
I want to hear that. I want to hear, did you work on the document? What have you found out? I am very sure probably you didn't finish all of it. It's a very big document. By the way, I personally really worked on it for like a whole week because I was damn serious about what I wanted for my life. But by now, at least you should have seen the outlook of that document. It should have started to, stir your mind and it really make you to start thinking critically. So if you can tell us if you saw the document, did you download it? Are you working on it already? And number two, what was your greatest take home of 1 p.m. presentation? What did you take home today? That would be very, very good for me. Thank you very much. And today we have Ambrose. Ambrose, thank you very much. I hope that your camera will stop misbehaving at some point so that we can see you. But meanwhile, you're welcome also to just share with us a little thing about your own potential and how you have been able to activate it.
Yeah, awesome. So share with us on the chat. Coachability, I can hear you clearly. This has been an awesome experience. So we can see 5 people, 6 people who are watching. So please let us know you're here. I know my name is Sam Ambrose. It has been an awesome experience, and most of you have seen me remind you on WhatsApp about the meeting. So please, if you can hear us, please let us know on the chat. Did you do the assignment? How is your experience so far? So waiting for 2 to 3 people to give us an alert. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Bob. I'm listening to you live as I was scheduled on Argonaut. Today between 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Just got home now. I haven't accessed the document. Where can I get it from? So please just log into the Facebook group and you'll be able to get it and the guide. But I also understand that most of you are unable to download the document. So what I'll be doing later today, I will send you a Google document link so that you can download it directly. For those who have reached out, that one will be easier for you. So thank you, Anne. You can hear us clearly. Thank you for joining us. So let's get the next person to show up. Thank you for those who are joining us at this moment. So let's get the third person. Did you do the assignment? Do you have clarity? Do you know how to activate your potential? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Coach Betty, kindly be free to be able to take this session. And also let us know how we can be able to really activate our potential. Now, I remember that, and I said I would share my story today. How, as a young person, I was able to really connect with potential at a higher age. Now, most of the time when I share my story, that I was in the street, I moved from the street, then I was taken to children prison. I spent most of my young, like between the age of 13 to 15 or 16, there I was in the children prison. And I really missed the primary school education. I didn't focus in high school because I had all these problems. We had to do DNA with my father for him to come in and support. So there was really a lot of challenges in between. And the one question most people ask me, and sometimes I ask myself, you reach a point in your life and you ask yourself, how did I get here? It's a question that I believe most of us ask ourselves, and we should really ask ourselves sometimes. If you listen to Coachability, if you listen to other people you follow, if you listen to their story, they also may be asking themselves, how did I get here? How did I get from that place? How did I get from that humble background? How did I get from that uh, home we didn't manage to get food? How did I get where I am today? So for me, I had to try different things. So when you are discovering your potential, which Coach Betty revealed to us day one, and most of us get stuck in the testing phase. We are trying different things. We are trying different things that we think that it can work for us. Okay. So, and this mostly happen when you are alone. Okay. You are in this alone corner and you're trying to figure things out by yourself. So I tried doing marketing. I tried network marketing, selling supplement. I tried selling real estate, selling land. I tried to approach different companies. I tried to work in an hotel. And if you are in that place where you are trying different things to look for that one thing that works for you, that this is your potential, this is actually what you can touch and turn into magic. I really understand you, because as a young person, now that I'm 23, it was really a lot of work to try and find out what I want. Another thing in this phase of discovering your potential is that there's a lot of people who are trying to tell you what to do. I will tell you, one, they love you and they want to see you succeeding. Number two is they are just doing it for their selfish gain. So I'll give you my example. And if this a young person in this show, I want to know that you may be in this, when you're trying to discover your potential, what you can be doing, what is inside you, what you're born with, what is your magic, or what is the one thing you can touch and turn it into a blessing. So my parents, the first they wanted me to be a police officer. So they were like, maybe we can get you to the, to the police. And when the relatives are always in there and they feel, okay, you can go to NOS. Then I refused that. Then later they were like, Sam, okay, because you don't love school, maybe we can take you to Saudi Arabia to work as a security officer. So there were these different options that people try to give you for you to try and see. You're not clear. You're in this phase where you're trying to figure it out. And Coach Betty shared that one of the business she started is because a friend mentioned it. So at this level of trying to discover what you do, it gets confusing when you are alone. And I felt depressed. I felt a lot of things. So how did I find it? Number one is I asked the right question. Number two, I accepted to ask for help. So one of the things that I want you to be humble enough, wise enough to do in this 3 days challenge is to have the capacity to ask for help. Because when you ask for help is when people are able to open their hearts to you. When you ask Coach Betty for help, how can I be able to do this? One of you she has been able to call me like 2 or 3 times to ask different questions. How do I open a YouTube channel? I want to be there. Actually, she asked me, I know I haven't told Coach Betty this. She asked me, can I get where Coach Betty is? The question she asked. And I said, it's possible. It's a step-by-step process. If you take the action she has been able to take, you can actually go far than Coach Betty is at this moment. You are unlimited. So how you got out of this phase of trying to discovering your potential is to be humble enough, wise enough to ask for help. If you see someone who is doing something that you want to do, ask them how it is done. That's what I did. I bought the courses, I downloaded the courses, I got the book knowledge. That's the first thing. Now, the next phase, which is today, which is activating your potential. Once you discover some of the things you're able to do is what I did for myself is number one, ask for more help. I repeat again, always ask for more help. So I got mentorship and coaches, people I can literally call. I can call directly and ask them, am I doing this the right way? Is this the right decision? Should I do this? Is this the right thing? And every time I go to ask more help, it helps me to move. Another thing is get the book knowledge. I tell you, everything you're looking for is inside a book. So your potential is like the diamond stone that hasn't gone through the process. And activating is by getting yourself under pressure. And by getting mentorship, getting the courses, getting in more of these kind of challenges, it exposes you to the right people who are able to do it. So that's what I've been able to do. This is the tool of activating your potential. So I want you to put on the chat as Coachability comes in, what is the one thing you're going to do to activate your potential? Are you going to buy that book that answers your main question? Are you going to hire that coach? Are you going to make a call today to that person who is doing what you want to do, but you don't know how to talk to them? Are you going to do that today? What are you committed to do that is going to activate the potential you are able to discover yesterday? What is the one thing you're going to do? Are you going to ask for help? Are you going to buy the book you have been thinking to buy? Are you going to call Coachability and say, I'm going to join your program, or I want to know how we can work together? Put on the chat, what is the one thing that you're committed to do today that is going to put your potential on fire? The diamond in you, what is the one thing that is going to put it on pressure so that we can get the best out of you? So put on the chat, what is the one thing you're committed to do? So I'm actually looking at the chat. What is the one thing you're committed to do? So you say, very important, ask for help. Thanks, Sam Ambrose. You're welcome. Always ask for help. So please, absolutely ask for help. Thank you for agreeing on that. So, and you're committed to ask for help. So I want you to put in the chat what kind of help you want to ask. Do you know the person you're going to ask? Maybe actually the kind of person you're looking for, the help you're looking for is right here and you're going to get it. So what are you committed to be doing to ensure that you activate your potential? So I have the next 2 minutes. So what is the one thing you're committed to do? So I'm just refreshing the comment. I want to see what you're committed to do. Help for job connections. Okay, I may not be an expert on this because sometimes I say I'm a kid. Here's what I believe about job connection. The more of value you become, the more value you put inside yourself, the more connection connect themselves to you. So if you want more job opportunities or job connection, then invest in yourself, become more attractive, that people want you. Okay, the more you invest in yourself, the better you become, the more connections you're going to get. So Coachability will add on that. That's me, what I believe about connections of jobs and opportunities. The person you are attract the opportunity to you. So you're going to monetize your potential. So tomorrow, Coachability will be sharing with you how you can be able to achieve this, how you can be able to take your potential and turn it into a money-making opportunity. So I'll be responding. So at this moment, I want to welcome Coach Betty. She has an amazing, awesome thing to share with you. So welcome, Coach Betty.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. For those of us who are joining and you haven't seen the worksheet, our worksheet is really homework. It's only that I don't like to use that word on grown-ups, because then the moment you say homework, it becomes so discouraging. I have taken my time to develop this document. It wasn't easy, but I really needed to develop this document so that it helps us. So this is how it looks like once you download it. It's a PDF document under the guides section. I know some really want to share with you the link, the the Google Drive link, but this is a challenge to you guys. If you also want to be able to earn from the online space, some of these things you really have to learn how to do, like downloading a PDF document, improving the network in your house. You really need to have good internet working, especially if you want to work online. I know a lot of times the reason why those documents are not downloading is because, maybe of poor internet, but it's a challenge to you. If you want to really earn online, then definitely you have to make sure you that is working. Anyways, I want to just show a few slides of how it looks like. By the way, these are just self-reflection questions, because if we don't do this, then we are not going to take action on what I've taught for the 2 days and the what I'll teach tomorrow, and this is really not going to be good. So it's just a small explanation of what it is that I've talked about. But anywho's, how do we then go to finding our potential? This is the reflection page I have done for you. Like we mentioned before, your purpose is a combination of 4 major aspects. So I've given you 4 discernment questions that you can ask yourself, and they can help you find out your potential, find out what is that thing lying within you, what can you focus on. Because you're not going to focus on 20 ideas. If you do that, you will fail. You need to really focus on one that gives you money, gives you happiness, is needed by the market, and you can provide that. And also you have skills and expertise. So you can ask yourself, what are your strengths? Write down. Please do not ignore this. What are your strengths? What are you very strong at? You definitely know your strengths. What are your values? And I see people blindly. Sometimes companies call me to go and consult with them, and I ask them, can I see your value statement? What are the values of this company? I ask the staff members, they have no freaking idea what the values of that company are. When I ask the owners of the business, what are your values? And they'll tell you timeliness, orderliness, productivity, accountability. And I ask the owner, how did you come up with this value? And they tell me, oh, when I was writing my profile, when I wanted to register the company, I picked this from somewhere, and that's a serious, mistake, because you should only have those values that you care about. So when we talk about values, we are talking about justice, we are talking about timeliness, we are talking about productivity, we are talking about growing others, we are talking about, there are people whose value is integrity. So if you value integrity, there are some businesses you don't want to touch because integrity does not exist in that kind of a business. If you value spirituality, if you value uh, teamwork, if you value, what do you value? Write it down. What do you like to do? What are those things like you like to do? I personally really, really like reading. I wish one of the motivations that I have for doing online courses is so that I can stop doing the physical training and have all the time in the world to read. Travel and read, travel and read. So ask yourself, what do I like to do? I like creating content. I like passing knowledge. I like making sense of issues. I really do like to make sense of issues. I just don't like to hear things and then I decide, yeah, that's it. Even for the Bible itself, I read it and I ask myself, why did this sentence show up here? It doesn't really make sense. And I'll go back 3 chapters and 3 chapters after because I really want it to make sense. So those are some of my motivations and what I like to do. So those are reflections questions. So we are going to dive deep into one of these discernment questions. And I'm telling you, spend about 5 minutes thinking deeply about each question. But after 5 minutes, move on to the next one. Why do I do that? So that you don't keep overthinking one thing. This is a serious exercise and it's easy to get distracted or overwhelmed. So keep moving through each question until when you are able to figure it out. And this probably isn't going to be a one and done exercise. After filling out each section the first time, you'll find that you will spend a lot of time thinking about what you wrote down over the next few days. Once you write that down, as you drive, as you walk, things will start popping up in your brain. You'll start seeing things that you actually weren't seeing. Why? Because now your energy is focused on something. And you see, energy grows where energy goes. Energy will keep growing where you send it to go. I keep giving an example. I really do love German cars, like really love the Mercedes. So every time I think of a certain Mercedes, I will start seeing it on the road. Let's say you want to buy a car and you have decided the kind of car I want to buy is this particular car. You will realize that once you start stepping out of your house, you start seeing it more than you were seeing it before. Why? Has it just landed on the road? Absolutely not. That car was there, but your focus was elsewhere. I have this phenomenon. I don't know what that phenomenon is called, but when you see a new word, like you've never seen that word before, but the day you see that word, tomorrow you'll see it again, and the next day you'll see it again. And you keep wondering, ah, why am I seeing this? Why wasn't this word there before? Why wasn't I seeing it? It's because your mind hadn't seen it, and so the energy wasn't going into noticing that word. That word had always been there. So let's look at what are your strengths. So I've broken it down for you. What are your strengths? What are you good at? Please fill there. What comes naturally to you? There are things that don't come naturally to me. Like I really have to put effort, think about it. But there are things that totally come naturally to me. If you wake me up at 3 a.m. and tell me, Betty, now let's develop content on how to make an online course, I will hit the blanket, sit down, make content on how to make an online course. But if you woke me up at 3 a.m. and tell me, Betty, now let's do the balance sheet for the company. Oh, I'm going to give an excuse and say, can we do this in the morning? I am forced to do it because I own a company. Either me, I do it, either someone does it for me and I have to cross-check it. But it doesn't come naturally to me and it's not something that excites my soul. So what are those things that come naturally to you? Is there a certain skill or aptitude you are always receiving compliments on? Is there something people always tell you, hey, Anne, you have a very good voice? I'm very good at telling people, what I feel. So one time, there's a lady I used to find at a certain supermarket, and every time she would speak to me, I would really like her voice. It was deep, authoritative, and really nice. In my heart, I thought to myself, this lady, I wish she can get a job as a media person because her voice is really nice. I mean, mine, unless I want to force it, is not that nice media voice, but there's someone with a very silky, nice media voice that comes to you automatically, and people tell you about it. You probably sing so well. You probably dance very, very, very well. There's that skill that comes to you automatically. So you need to look at this. What are your strengths? I've given you space, enough space to write your strengths on. Moving on, what are your values? What is important to you? What do you believe in? Are there certain rules you follow on a consistent basis to live your life in a certain way? There are people who I don't cheat, I don't lie, I don't, um, I don't like to delay others. There are things that you hold deeply as your values. These values can be religious, they can be political, they can be moral, they can even be people or family related. They just have to carry weight and a meaning for you, not for another person, for you, right? Like I totally cannot stand gossip. I personally don't like it. I don't like to sit down and we start discussing someone and how bad they are and how they didn't do this and this. For me, I've always thought, why can't I maybe come up with something that could help that person? So I don't like it when there's gossip going on. I will cleverly leave that group. So what are the values that you write? So write 10 to 20 values and beliefs as they come to you, naturally. And I've left for you space to do that. All right. Then the next one, what are your motivation? What's your why? We talked about your why. What are your motivation? What do you do? Why do you do the things you do? Why? There has to be a reason you do things the way you do them. And the things that you do, there has to be a reason. You cannot be a church choir member for 15 years and you don't have a why you go to that church to do the choiring, like to be in the choir. You cannot be, carrying, doing something for a company for 15 years and you have no idea why you do it. Absolutely not. You need to know, why do I do things the way I do them? Why do I pay school fees of people? Do I pay so that I can be seen and praised and, or do I pay so that that child can be there to do the work I do today, tomorrow when I'm no longer there, or tomorrow when I'm too old to do such things? What makes you come alive? What is that thing that lights your eyes up? So for you to know what you really motivates you, sometimes when such things happen, you'll even find yourself lighting up and people will tell you, every time this song plays, you're very happy. Every time this and this happens, you tend to light up. You tend to feel good. You tend to like that kind of discussion. All right. So write down 10 of those. And in conclusion, discovering your purpose is a truly personal, guys, individual journey. That doesn't mean you can't seek out help from loved ones. If you're feeling stuck or even just, to get some outside perspective, ask few close friends or family members how they would feel in the 4 discernment questions for you. Ask your sister, what do you think are my strengths? When you look at me, what do you think are my strengths? Ask your bro, ask your cousin, what do you think are my strengths? My best friend, her cousin is a very good organizer. Like, she's the one who organizes all. I keep telling my friend, I like the way you organize things. She's very good at organizing our parties, our small little meetups. She's amazing. But now she tells me, I am not a good organizer. You should meet my cousin. She is, it's so natural for her to organize these little things. So what are those things that you hear from your family members, from your pastor, from your mom, from your dad, from social media? What do people tell you that you do so well? You need to know. You need to know, how do people find you? So it's important that you do that. It's okay if you don't have an answer for your purpose right now, by the way. Some people spend their whole lives trying to figure this stuff out. Sometimes I'm also really trying to figure out, is this something I really want to do? So that's how the document looks like. So don't don't sweat it, don't overthink it. Just sit down and fill that worksheet. So thanks to this worksheet, you won't be struggling to find your purpose all your life. Some people struggle to find their purpose all their life. So they start a church. 2 years down the line, they don't like the followers and they don't like you because you're not the people they expected to pastor. Then tomorrow they leave the church, they start a school, they don't like the students, they don't like the teachers, they don't like the parents, they don't like the way things are. Close down that school, then they start a car wash. They do not like the customers, they don't like the work of waking up too early and closing too late. Then they leave that, they pay for their master's degree, they go get into master's. 2 years down the line, they don't get a promotion, they don't like the degree, they went back to acquire, they leave the master's, they register for a PhD, and by the time they are 50, they still haven't figured out what they want to do. Why? Because you don't literally take action when such things come. So I would say, happy soul searching. I believe in you and I believe that you shall take care and make sure that this document, you have worked on it. Thank you very much. So Sam, are people Are people telling us something? I see Shakaina in the house. By the way, Shakaina is a coach, and Shakaina, you should tell us what you do. I love to mention my students when they show up for my event, so that we can also know what else you do. So she says you're explaining so well. That was my story years ago. Absolutely. If you are just haphazard, you have these things in your head, you have never written them down on a piece of paper or really taken time to think about who am I, where am I going, what's my big why? Like, what's my big why? Why do I do these things? Why do I teach? You know, I was writing on Facebook yesterday because a friend of mine tagged me and saying the way, I'm a teacher, by the way. These things I do, this is total teaching. It's coaching, good, beautiful names of sugarcoating. But really, what I do is teaching. But when I finished my college, I was in KU and I was taught how to be a teacher. I went home and told my mother, Mom, please listen. I ain't gonna become a teacher. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to teach a high school. I don't want to teach a college. I don't want to teach anything. But as fate would have it, there are those things that come very naturally to you. I didn't end up teaching in a high school, which is what I learned to do in campus, but I teach grown-ups and I love, 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 love teaching grown-ups. All right. Yeah. So Imelda says watcher too. I don't know what button I touched. So you guys, we want to hear your questions. We want to see what was not clear to you. Can you bring it here so that we are able to answer your questions in the next, 10, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and then we can call it a day. Mary says, how would like to have a side hustle? Mary, that question is not very clear. Do you want to type it again? Do you want to type it again? All right, so you guys, we are here. Ambrose, have you seen any other question that I may have missed?
We have one from my friend here.
Mhm.
Teachers, teacher too. Okay, you have teachers in the house, so you are having it. You're having the knowledge-based marketing in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see Narkisho saying both my parents are teachers and my wife is a teacher too. Yeah. Actually, let me tell you a secret. The day you will be able to totally monetize your potential is the day you can teach others what you know. You see, what I do is teaching others what I know, but I haven't really let go completely doing the work, and decide to only teach what I know. Sometimes I find myself in training rooms and I'm training. I want to get where I can train trainers, and that's it. I train trainers through online courses, and they can go train. And once they are very good, they can train trainers. The day you want to really earn and become someone fantastic, no worries anymore about money, cash, money, brothers, is the day you can teach others to do what you do. The day you can teach women how to do their eyebrows nicely without, kupiga corner here and there, that day is the day you earn properly, is the day you activate your potential nicely. The day you teach others how to bake the cake the way you bake it is the day you will have arrived. Because guess what? In teaching others, you learn so much. In teaching others, you challenge yourself to be the very best. There's no way I'll be coming here to teach you guys, and I'm a step below, or we are at the same level. I have to challenge myself to be better every freaking day. Every day I'm looking at how can I be better? Not 10 steps ahead of you, no, just one step ahead of you. So learn how to be one step ahead of the people you are teaching, and you will be good. You'll be home. Narkisho, if you can always teach us how to market online, create those funnels, do whatever it is that you're doing. I saw you had put something on your WhatsApp status about Eden Pagan or some class you are in. I see him online. By the way, when I looked at what he's offering, I was like, where? I don't want those things. That's not about me. Hizo vitu tunaachia Ambrose and Narkisho and the people who work on such things. So if you can teach others, Narkisho, the ones who are interested to do what you do, that day liberation arrives. All right. My wife says I'm good at organizing, painting, and sewing, but I have not monetized it either, being an introvert. Yeah, being an introvert is an excuse. We established that during the day. By the way, nowadays introverts have a lot of playing field because they can come up with online courses, host them somewhere, never ever show up their faces, just run groups or just decide to sell those online courses. But let me tell you, being an introvert doesn't mean being an extrovert doesn't mean you have to be all over the place and people have to know your business. If people have to know your business, including where you sleep and how you sleep and what you eat, it is you just deciding to be that open. It has nothing to do with being an introvert or an extrovert, honestly speaking. You decide what you want to show people and what you don't want to show people. All right. um Caroline says, I've come to understand my potential, but now I do not know how to even start and make it something, let alone monetize it. Tomorrow we'll be telling you what to do, Caroline. Oh, Shakaina says, you changed my life. I'm a coach. I empower a woman to embrace leadership, lead authentically and boldly to increase impact, influence, and income. Absolutely. And you're a very great student, Shakaina. I love to see my students shining. Shakaina took our AMP program, which is something I'll be telling you about tomorrow, you guys. If you can take it, then you can be giving your story like Shakaina is doing right now. So if you're a woman, and you want to embrace leadership, you want to lead authentically, you want to do it boldly, there goes your coach. All right. Someone says the teaching story, and thanks. True. Let me guys tell you now that you're even inside here. My mom had already gotten me a job in a local high school. So she had negotiated with the board chairman and said, my daughter is clearing her school. She's going to be graduating soon. She's learned how to be a teacher of high school students. I would like you to give her a job. So in my mind, let me tell you, I made up my mind a long time ago how I wanted my life to look like. Thanks to reading, and thanks to a man in campus who had really wanted to be my friend, but he knew me. He knew I loved reading. So he came to me using books. So he bought me a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read it first year, first semester. And then he brought another one called Think and Grow Rich. He brought another one, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So by the time I was a second year, I was not pursuing things of second years. I was pursuing things of not my age. So I had already decided I don't want to go and teach in a high school because I don't think that will meet my ambitions. So my mama gets me a job, speaks to the board chairman, and tells me the interview is going to be on this and this date. So I become clever. I decide I don't want to let my mom down, so I will actually go. But what I'll do, I'll go late. So by the time I arrive, the interviews were over. I called Mwalimu. I like being authentic. I told the principal, come we speak. I'll tell you the truth. The reason why I have come this late is because I didn't want to find you guys interviewing. I wanted to be late because I don't want a teaching job. But because I don't want my mom to be upset, you just, when you meet her, tell her it was unfortunate that I came late for the interview. So I went home. I told my mom, oh, it's very unfortunate that I arrived late. Of course, she was upset because I arrived late, but I think she would have felt really bad if I didn't show up for that interview. So I didn't really want to teach. And teaching is a fantastic job. Sometimes I feel like probably if I went that route, I still would be doing very well for myself. But that's the information I had then when I was making those decisions. I don't regret though. I love coaching and I love what I do very, very much. Mary Kubai says, I have a heart and burden for helping people. I feel fulfilled whenever I help out. Is this potential? Can it be monetized? Absolutely. Let me tell you, heart you have a heart for helping people and you feel a burden for bringing people out of problems. Whenever you help out, is this potential? Absolutely. But this is what I want to tell you, Mary. Just what my coach told me. You will only help people when you have helped yourself. We try very much to help. We don't have enough for us, and then we want to help. So we end up being absolutely mediocre. That's something I was really doing when I was working for where I was working. My salary was a lot then, but it wasn't enough to cover all my bills and then to go giving big. I really used to give big. So every time I would struggle. Then one time I sat with my coach and he asked me, "How much money are you making?" "I'm making this much." "How much do you want to help?" And I said, "I'm helping this much." He said, "No, I want you to focus on building your chest." It's called a chest fund, something. "Build the money, build the capacity to give, so that when you give properly." So we shall talk about monetizing, Mary, because I want you to make money that helps you give in a better way. All right. I don't know why this person's name is not appearing. This, my friend, did not put their name on StreamYard when we advised so. So jina yake inakuja hapa Facebook user, and I don't want to call her Facebook user. So let me look at my phone a little, because my phone will give me a name. Before my phone loads. So they say, "I never wanted to be a teacher like my parents. I took another course, physiotherapy. Guess what? I now teach physiotherapy students." Absolutely. You still teach, and you can actually tell your parents, "I'm a teacher like you guys, only that I teach in a different setup." So teaching, it really depends. Even Mark Zuckerberg has taught us a lot. He is a teacher. I mean, he teaches us how to monetize our potential using his platform. Elon Musk teaches me just by, issuing threats on Twitter. I ask myself, wow, what does it take to be this kind of an entrepreneur? All right. So I want to see your questions, you guys. Does anybody have a question concerning how to activate your potential? Anybody got a question? We don't want to close you out. We don't want to close you out. So I'll give this another just 1 minute, and if I don't have a question, we'll call it a day. But I'm very happy to see you guys committed to doing the class, to coming for the Q&A. I know it's a lot of work on your side, but you're here and you showed up. And this will be available for the next 72 hours. Then we are going to bring it down.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. All of us will listen to this masterclass. It is free and rating. Coach Wema. So thank you. There's a question. You can always tag Coach Betty. Most of you have my WhatsApp number, which I've been sending you the links. So if you have a question, you have a challenge, you can always reach out, and we'll be able to respond. So Coach Betty, you can wish us a blessed evening.
Thank you very much. How do you package it once you recognize your potential? That's what we are talking about tomorrow. We'll talk about how to package and then how to monetize, because you can't monetize if you've not packaged it. Okay, so we'll speak about that tomorrow. But really, don't forget what we talked about. Packaging is a very big story, by the way. It's not just having this Samsung S20. It started from even the word Samsung, how they came up with the word Samsung, how they came up with the colors, how they came up with the model of the phone, the width of the screen. It's a very big story, and it starts from you working on your own mindset. You are really packaging, working on your language online, working on your personality, even away from the screen, away from the away from the public. Who are you in private? What are you doing? Are you spending your time developing yourself, or are you spending your time doing other things? Are you spending it? It will be seen. By the way, people will see how you spend your time. People will know how you spend your time. And I'm not saying that we don't live our lives, but really it's a long story, which we started talking about yesterday, and we'll finish it tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll literally now tell you how to package that and then how to monetize it. And then thank you very much. I see we don't have any other questions, so I would like to wish you guys a very good night. See you tomorrow at 1. Thank you for coming.